Jacob Adams. I'm a fitness and leadership coach. I help people just like you get to the next level in the gym by getting personal records, burning fat, building muscle, dialing in on nutrition, establishing a world-class supplementation program from fish oil to protein, fat burners, nootropics, collagen, yada, yada, yada. And here on YouTube, my focus is on establishing the breakthroughs and the psychological tools that I discuss with clients on a one-on-one basis. And I use myself to get to the next level. Have you heard of the dark side? Yes, like Star Wars, like the dark side. You know, Tim Grover, which is Michael Jordan's coach, says that the dark side is that fuel, that inner part of you that burns the hottest and the deepest and the longest, the dark side, the dark part of you. And you either control it or it controls you. So the question is, do you know what it is? Do you use it? Does it control you or do you control it? One of my favorite encounters with this, again, at this stage of my life, right now that my world's been flipped upside down, ranging from family stuff, financial stuff, personal stuff, like everything is just turned upside down. And one of the songs I really liked during this stage of change, this shift, this drift, right, is Eminem's song Venom. And he's like, I got a song filled with shit for the strong will when life tells you that you don't belong and all this stuff. And it goes into like, you're gonna taste my venom. And like, I really enjoy that because I get it. Like there's the fuel within us, the dark side, the dark fuel that can burn within us is often the strongest and more resilient, because in a way, like whatever has caused that insult is so great, is so painful that it can catapult past a lot of resistance. And I've talked about how resistance is something that is found in all of art. Whenever you want to create something, there's all types of resistance that gets in the way. For example, prior to watching this video, I was watching a video discussing or making fun of or mocking or just, analyzing Belle Delphine's content. And Belle Delphine likes to, put on provocative little stockings and show her ass and, crack eggs on herself and pet her octopus and stuff like that. Her pet octopus, and it gets a lot of views. And, I'm a very attuned individual, and I'm going to give credit where credit's due, right? Like, I think it's pretty cool to pet an octopus in stockings. Like, there is some kind of weird, funny, erotic fetish type shit going on there. And like, I get it because I have a dark side. You get what I mean? Like, it's almost like dark humor / eroticism, Belle Delphine stuff, right? And so, part of me can even say, well, I don't want to put on stockings and pet an octopus. I'm a fitness and leadership coach. Like, my stuff is about using the fuel to, get into more masculine ideas like pushing weight, burning fat, building muscle, producing a company, right? Building a business, getting an impact, making people go, damn, that was legit. Like, I really got that perspective, really helped me break through this bad habit, And so let's compare the two, right? Like, not for the sake of like knocking Belle Delphine, because I already gave her credit. Like, it's cool, erotic, dark fetish kind of shit. Like, okay, weird, petting an octopus, dragging him around in a collar, whatever, dude. Like, it's not my shit, it's not my style, but I get it. Like, just because it's not my style doesn't mean I don't get it. Make sense? Again, it's not my style, but I get it. That makes sense? Where let's say you're a fanboy of Belle Delphine's, then you could see her like play with her lips and look up and be like, oh wow, she looked up and she licked her lips. It's so erotic. I'm just so turned on right now. Like, if that's you, great. Like, I get it. It's just not my style. Okay, so what does that have to do with the dark side? In other words, like, there's resistance in all of life. Like, even like, let's just say someone could even look at her content and say, well, You know, how do I incorporate egg yolks and throw them to a mirror and wear stockings? Let's say you're a female and you see her winning, like, you know, subscribers, and she's making a lot of money. And you can say, well, how can I get a piece of that? Let's just say you're a female and you see a market for that. Well, good for you. You know, you're sort of getting lured to a dark side. But there's also, is that dark side taking over you? Like, in other words, are you doing it at the cost of your real work? Like, imagine I were to start cracking eggs on myself right now and making a mess in my room, and, you know, on the quest for views and stuff. Almost like, I think that there's some content out there on the web that can only exist and get views like because of the internet, or like, it's hard to explain. Like, it's almost like the internet makes fun of itself, and that content, it supports that humor. Like, like petting an octopus and calling it your best friend is that type of humor. It's that type of dark web, intellectual, weird fetish type of shit that, like, it the curiosity almost perpetuates it more than the content itself. Where, like, I am actually looking to create content that is more powerful. Like, for example, let's say when I bring up Eminem's concept of the song Venom, and I talk about Tim Grover, Michael Jordan's coach. Like, Michael Jordan is undisputably one of the best basketball players who ever lived, right? And he's using his dark side as talked about by Tim Grover, right? And Eminem is singing the song Venom. Do you see how there's content, context, and value there? I'm giving you examples of people that use the dark side. I'm giving you people that validate that they're talking about the dark side, whether it's Eminem or Tim Grover, and what can come. So that's like content that holds value in an everyday world, right? In an everyday world, meaning, if you can harness in on your dark side, you can tap into a fuel, because that fuel can either control you or you can control it. See, this is what I mean. Like, this, what I'm saying, is valuable regardless of whether you have the internet or not. But if someone were to tell you, look, I have a pet octopus that I carry with me, and I like to wear stockings, like, outside of the voyeuristic view of the internet, and like its humor and its titillation and its like its ability to suck your time away, it doesn't hold much value. Like, you probably would never, you know, go and want someone to do that for you. Like, outside of in your own imagination, you didn't know you needed that. You didn't know you wanted to see a woman pet an octopus and drag it with her. You didn't know. Make sense? You didn't know. So therefore, and part of the reason you didn't know is because it doesn't hold a lot of value. Like, it doesn't. You know what I mean? It doesn't. Now, I get that the fact that I said it doesn't, and I'm this dude that's talking in his room and talking about the dark side and stuff, like, the fact that I said it doesn't immediately gives it more value, because of the fact that, like, I'm polarizing it, right? And now the fact, but here's the kicker. You see how I said it gives it no value, and then I discussed polarization, and so automatically the fact that I told you how, in a way, like how marketing works, and I'm polarizing and I'm saying it has no value. Now you're able to see how like I'm bringing the fact that I gave you that value, and that value works in an everyday world. You're automatically tuning back to what I'm saying, and you're forgetting about the octopus. Does that make sense? Because I'm showing you with like authority and an actual like an actual way of analyzing content, and so now you're actually tuning in back into my words. Make sense? But if I hadn't told you that, like, there's a part of you that would have liked to like agree more with the octopus content. Make sense? And like, say that in a way, that's like the dark side within you saying, no, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Talking about how, you know, petting an octopus is useless. It's useful. This octopus was not alive, by the way. You get it? So I hope I'm not losing you. Like, this is the world we live in. Like, what does this have to do with the dark side? How does this have to do with harnessing your dark side? I think if anything, Belle Delphine has managed to use her dark side for profit. Personally. But anyway, let's just dial it down a little bit. Let's get some more structure. We're 10 minutes in. Hopefully you enjoyed that sort of open rant there. Let's dial in the conversation here. So, talking about Eminem, Tim Grover, Michael Jordan, Belle Delphine, hopefully you can connect the dots. I think people that view my channel at this point are starting to connect the dots from what I'm seeing. And so, let's go ahead and get into it. All right. So, what might be your dark side? So my dark side, again, at this stage of my life, every area of my life, body, being balanced, and business is being challenged and flips upside down, and I'm having to climb out of a pit, right? So there's an anger, a righteous anger brewing within me. It's a righteous fucking anger, and it's brewing within me, right? And the more I feed that anger and I harness it and I dial it in and control it and manage it, the more it can propel me. Like yesterday's personal record, I had a 235 squat clean with a push jerk. Now, naturally, the push jerk wasn't as hardcore as I would have wanted. I strained my knee slightly, ever so slightly, but whatever. I'm taking world-class collagen. I'll put a link below if you want to try some of that collagen. I think that's why my joints are getting stronger. Anyway, moving on. So I'm harnessing this fuel, this righteous anger within me. I'm harnessing it in order to get a record, in order to dialing in and selling my supplements, in order to dial in and pray deeper, and this anger and this dark side. Let's just say, what's the opposite? What could it also do, right? Besides this positive energy that it's propelling me and I'm pushing through it, right? Instead of that, I could just go to a bar and drink and say life is shit, and go around complaining and just fucking being some fucking moping loser motherfucker, right? So that could also do that. You know what I mean? The dark side can control you like that, right? You could say, life is shit, right? But if you combine the optimism with the dark side, then you have a very potent, volatile, resilient energy. Because optimism sees the hope. Optimism sees faith. Optimism sees the strategy. Optimism sees the vision. Optimism remembers the times you've already won, right? And so then you harness that fuel and that anger and you inject it into that optimistic point of view, and that's how you keep pushing through, okay? And that's what I found is the best strategy overall. And that's just taking Michael Jordan's trainer's view, Eminem's view, the dark side. Now, I do align with the light. I am a yogi, and I align with the light. I meditate, I pray every day. I'm just letting you know that in spite of all that, there is this pure raw energy within you, and it's the dark side. And if you can harness that for good, you can become a more unstoppable, relentless force. Okay? And I don't have eggs. I'm not wearing any kind of stockings, and I don't have an octopus to pet, and that you're just gonna have to deal with that and just realize that this is raw fucking shit. All right? So in any case, let's say I think prior to understanding this from Michael Jordan's, I have a quote of his on my wall, and it says, "Anyone can start something. Very few people can finish." You get it? So that's where I'm going at with this. Are you the type of person that likes being relentless? Are you the type of person that likes focusing on a goal and being so relentless and fierce that it's almost scary to others? If others could see how relentless, if others could feel the passion within you, how hot something burns within you, if others could touch that energy within you, it would put them to a cinder. It would scare them. It would make others feel uncomfortable as how intense you are in your head. If you have that, my friend, you are close to being a relentless individual. And when I say close, I mean that even then, relentless people they'll go deeper than that. They'll go hotter than that. As relentless just like the word relentless sounds like this unstoppable force, like that is what a relentless person is willing to be. Like that fucking vicious, that fucking hardcore, okay? And so that's the best way of understanding the dark side of that. I hope I'm giving you some backdrops. And I think that prior to embracing this, let's see, I started embracing this 2016. Here we are, 2019. And at different points in my life, you know, at different points in my life, you know, I have had to do it, but I think that now, like no other time, I have to do it to such a high degree that I think I'm. It's fair to say that a part of me has to die, like the old versions of myself have to continuously die, and to give birth and make space for like a new version, a newer, more evolved version. And so sometimes that's scary to people, to your own self. That might be scary to know that a part of you might die, like whatever part that is. And I think that if you have enough experience viewing yourself and knowing yourself and understanding that, like if you've had versions of yourself die and given birth to new versions, like it's not very scary. Like myself, I have had new versions of myself continuously. Like let's say if I look back 10 years, what is it, 2009? Yeah. Like my goals were more, I think they were more selfish at that point in 2009. I'm not saying that's so wrong, but I'm saying they were, you know, more self-centered. And I think my goals now are more inclusive with my family. They're more, how is it going to impact my family? How is this going to impact my legacy? What would this mean for honoring my father, my mother? You know, so there's more, it doesn't, and through that, those good, ethical sounding, moralistic, you know, goals, it doesn't mean I can't harness the dark side. So those are some perspective shifts for you. So let's just say, you know, 2011, even 2009, even though I was more self-centered, I would say, I probably would have not liked the idea of a dark side. Make sense? Where now I think that it's more crucial to understand the entire makeup of my being, energetically, spiritually. And so those are the two kind of perspectives there. To start identifying and harnessing your dark side, you're going to have to be honest with yourself and examine things, characteristics, habits that you do within your daily life that you wouldn't brag about. I think if you wouldn't brag about those things, that's energy of the dark side. That's a pretty good way to understand it. Like, you probably wouldn't brag that you smoke a cigarette. You probably wouldn't brag that you eat junk food. You probably wouldn't brag, like whatever you're not bragging about. I think those are good ways to identify dark side energy. And then if you could start stopping that and dialing in on that energy, that's a good way to start improving. Or do nothing at all and let the dark side consume you. It's up to you. It's a strong feel. I'm running out of time. Comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Why is this camera running out of fucking thing? Anyway, I gotta go. Comment below.